just waiting for you. Hello, and welcome to issues number 14 of ComiCentric. And on this week's episode, it's going to be me and Pete just chit-chatting, talking about Thor, talking about recent activities, upcoming projects, and whatnot. So just stick around, take a listen. Let me know what you think. You took that off. I don't even know why it's still doing it. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to get some used to.
Yeah. Is it going?
It's going. It's moving.
Is it?
It's moving.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
And we're on our way.
It's working.
Yeah.
We're down.
For now. And for those who are just joining us, I'm just working with a new program here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if we can get those low vocals to be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
With me today, Mr. Peter Mellini.
How's it going?
And Mr. Peter Mellini, can you speak into the microphone?
I am.
Oh, wow. Look at that. There's things that move now.
Oh, okay.
I can see the value of your voice.
Nice.
So, Mr. Peter Mellini, how are
Yes.
things going?
I am tired.
Tired.
It's been a long week.
But
And it's Tuesday.
and it's only Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday.
We just started.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been doing this already for about 3 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
what has been your experience so far?
It's fun, man. I've been having fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know.
Every once a
It's,
week?
yeah, you know, getting to know. It's weird.
Mhm.
We've basically. No, I think there's no exception. Like we've interviewed people that we already know,
Yeah,
and I feel like I learn things new about these people. It's weird.
it's true.
Yeah.
We've gotten emotional.
Yeah.
We've gotten,
Yeah.
it's weird. Yeah, I mean, like you said, some of these people we grew up with,
Mm-hmm.
and we thought we knew.
Yeah,
And there's still so much we can learn about them.
yeah, it's a trip. I think the only person that like I don't know that well was like Marty's mom, but
And we did that like on the second, third episode.
yeah,
I said, I need a mom for Mother's Day. And Mari just goes, hey, there you go. Here's
Yeah.
my mom.
yeah,
And she was very gracious to do it.
yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought they were all going to be like that. But you know what?
No.
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 They're all very different.
It's very different.
It's very different.
I mean, we spent a long time talking about Charles Atlas last week, so
That was intense. Yeah, I'm surprised at your knowledge about Charles
I
Atlas.
knew too much.
I mean, with that kind of knowledge, I think you yourself would be
I had to.
fudge.
But yeah. But no, it's been interesting, man. I'm saying, like, we got to learn a lot about people we already knew, and
Yeah.
I'm just very curious moving forward
Yeah.
when we talk to people we don't know. Like, it's gonna be interesting.
Well, I mean, Nathaniel last week, again, I didn't know him that well.
Yeah.
I've known him from the few interactions
Yeah.
I've had with him. And,
Yeah.
I think he's a very cool guy now.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, he really is a disciplined, even though he says he's not, but
Yeah.
he's very focused, very, very, goal-oriented and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm like, wow, that's a bit of an inspiration if you ask me.
No, I got you. Yeah.
And then we've talked to people that we've known for ages, like Patrick and Dre,
Yeah.
and even then it's like we get to see a little bit of what they're dreaming, what their future,
Yeah.
what they want to
It's
do
interesting, man. It's a
You know?
different side, like
Yeah.
behind the scenes, so to speak.
behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Very much so.
it's been interesting. It's been fun, man.
Yeah. And then, I mean, at this point, like you said, there's going to be people we don't know. I don't even know how to go about that.
I mean, it just kind of happens, I think it's like, things get building and,
One thing I've been getting, I guess, as far as feedback is like I always started off very stiff, very, but I mean, just trying to get the information out first, and then we can talk about whatever the fuck you got. No, then it gets loose, then they get comfortable,
Then
then
you talk about Charles Atlas for 20 minutes,
breakfast cereals and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm for that.
I mean, it's cool, man. Like, I mean, like one of the, like, I think a lot of early podcasts used to do that. They would just start recording, and then they wouldn't actually start the episode like 20, 30 minutes into it because it just was like,
So just to get loosened
Yeah.
up and stuff like that. I mean, if you notice, I kind of been doing that with a couple.
Yeah.
I record a couple of minutes before we actually start recording.
No, yeah.
You
But
know?
now with the metronome, I know.
Yeah, you're gonna hear it now. No more candid.
No. I mean, maybe. You never know.
Yeah, I'll find a way to disable that.
Yeah, you got to disable the metronome.
I mean, yeah, it's
Well, how about you? I mean, this is your experiment. Like, how are you feeling about this whole thing?
you know what? I thought I was gonna do maybe 10
Yeah.
and give up.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I was
Yeah.
gonna be like, all right, I did it, I tried it, and I'm done.
Yeah.
But I'm 13, 14 episodes
Yeah.
of this one in and digging it.
Yeah.
Like I said, getting to learn things about
Yeah.
people. I take some of their bit of their wisdom and their knowledge, and I try to actually use it myself. You know, I don't want to say I'm stealing stuff, but I am stealing a little bit of everybody here.
I mean, you bought an iPad.
I bought an iPad after, after Monstros told me, you know, how easy it was. He basically sold me on a pitch.
Yeah, and
the following day I went and got an iPad. You know, I've been practicing on the iPad. You know, I've been trying to get good, and I don't know if I am, but you know, I look at 2-3 YouTube tutorials and then try to do 1 or 2 of those thousands of things that they're trying to tell me. Yeah. And, you know, eventually one sticks. Yeah. Like, did you know if you pinch it all the way, it goes up to full screen mode? I didn't know that. Stuff's amazing.
I mean, it's the magic, man.
It's technology, man. It's one of those things I never thought I'd get myself an iPad. I never thought I'd get myself any Apple product, period. You know, and I'm thinking of freaking getting an iPhone instead of my piece of shit phone I have now.
You know what? They don't... Okay. People always give me shit about it because I've had an iPhone for fucking years.
Yeah, as far as I know,
And the whole thing is like they always have like, well, you can't do shit with that. I'm like, I wasn't gonna do anything with it. Like I do what I do with it, and it's simple technology. It's like foolproof technology. You know, like I mean, there's certain things you're just like, this is annoying, but you know.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so simple to use. You know, everyone has one. Yeah. The Apple Watch is an amazing thing. I have a friend who uses it for like when we go hiking, he uses it to find out where the trails are and how high the elevation we're going. It keeps track of all that for you. It's pretty amazing.
Dude, they're currently, Apple is trying to get this patent done where for the heart monitor, if you're having a heart attack, it will shock you.
What?
Yeah. They're trying to get that shit.
Defibrillator?
Yeah.
Fudge.
They're trying to get that going, and it's like the FDA is like not approving it, but it's a thing that they're currently trying to do.
Wow. I mean, it could be dangerous.
Oh, it could be very dangerous.
Someone hacks it or something, and they could just zap you out.
Yeah. Or not even that. Like, just fucking the app doesn't work well, and you know,
you're constantly getting. Okay, I could see what the downside of that. No. But regardless, I kind of want one now.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, I've always been an Android, like Mac and Android kind of guy. You know, I bought myself a Surface, so the sole purpose to draw on that. Yeah. I found it so difficult as compared to the iPad. Yeah. You know, but I've always, you know, been lenient towards that direction. Yeah. Now I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's just technology, man. Like, I think it's like anything else. It's right for whatever you want to use it for. Like, there's no right or wrong, you know. Like,
well, as I get older, I guess the more simpler, the better.
Yeah, exactly, right.
You know, I don't want to be dealing with bullshit.
Yeah, that makes sense, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's it. Yeah, that's why I've been using iPhones forever, because it's easy.
Yeah,
you know,
anything you need is on there.
I think the first iPhone I got was because I had an iPod. And it was like, oh, you can transfer all that into the phone. I'm like, oh,
amazing!
It's amazing. You know? Yeah, that's the only reason, and I just kept it going.
Boy,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, I've always been. Even I had a Zune. I didn't have a, you know.
That's weird, man.
Stop. It's not weird.
It's very weird.
You know, freaking Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
he has a Zune now.
Yeah, that's a joke.
No,
it's the joke.
No, he's the coolest guy in the space.
No, he's not.
You know, one thing about the new fucking Thor movie, Love and Thunder, they didn't show that.
No,
they didn't show any of that. I'm hoping for the next one.
They didn't, yeah.
But it would have been cool if he busts out Zune.
That'd been hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing a lot of music, so I mean, it works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, how'd you enjoy that movie?
I enjoyed that movie a lot.
Really?
You know what? I get why people don't like it. I mean, because did you read about that? It's very people either loved it or hated it.
Really?
Yeah. There's no middle ground.
I'm the middle ground, dude.
Really?
I loved it, but at the same time, I hate it for some of the things it's doing to me. You know?
Yeah. Oh no, there's that. But no, but I think it all goes back to Ragnarok, and there's this weird freaking, what do you call it? Fan base. They're very upset about the treatment of Thor.
The treatment of Thor.
They didn't like Ragnarok.
Okay.
And they didn't like that he got sad and he got fat and he got all, you know, they're just like, oh, you're mistreating Thor, you're misrepresenting Thor. And it's like, dude, he's not a real person, for one thing, right?
How do you kill a vampire?
Yeah, exactly. But I think we I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago about how, like, you know, kind of Feige said, like, oh, Thor's the biggest loser in the universe.
Yeah.
Like, he loses everything. He's, you know, and it's not a bad thing.
He lost the girl. He lost the hammer. He lost his home.
He lost his family.
His
you know,
mom,
like,
his dad.
His brother.
Several times over and over again. We saw that movie.
Which is weird because I think like they even like reference I think it's Infinity War. He says that Heimdall was his best friend.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I'm like, really? All right, whatever. Right?
Well, he was the guy that let him out.
Yeah.
You know. So I guess.
So and so like the thing is like that, you know, thematically that's where that character would be. He'd be fucking sad. Like especially like he's like 1,500 years old. He's had to deal with all this nonsense, you know, like
and his life falls apart in this small speck of time frame, you know. So yeah, okay.
And so they're very upset that like there's a whole fan group that started with Ragnarok. They were just like, oh, this movie fucking silly, and like Thor is a silly character.
Yeah,
like as much as you know, like, you got a guy who basically believes himself a god.
Yeah.
Comes to Earth and has to like deal with all this nonsense. Like he's gonna be silly. He's gonna do dumb, you know.
Yeah.
And that's going back to the first movie. Like he called Coulson like son of Cole. Like shit like that. Right.
Give me another one.
Yeah.
Well, if you go for the what if when he comes out becomes Party Thor.
Yeah.
You know, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So but there's a lot of people that are very upset about Love and Thunder, saying that like, oh, this was the final nail in the coffin for Thor. Like, you know, they ruined that character. And I'm like,
I don't know.
I don't get it. Like I don't know.
I don't get it. Yeah. He becomes a Thor again at the end, you know? He becomes okay with himself to the point where he's going to start raising a child.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, spoilers, by the way.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think if we didn't get Ragnarok, I don't think we would ever get another Thor movie because, like, look at, like, Dark World. Everyone fucking hates Dark World.
I don't like Dark World.
I mean, we watched it the other day. It was all right. Like, I don't think it's not the best, but, you know, it's whatever. But the thing is, like... Yeah. I don't think if we kept making Thor movies like that,
dark ones,
like the Thor character would he just would show up in the Avengers every once in a while. Like they wouldn't use him, they wouldn't give him his own movies.
Well, they try to make it like, you know, a Viking movie. You know, like he's Thor. You know, strong man. You know that stuff. But as soon as they like made him more human, Ragnarok, you know, a little more sensitive, if you will. People didn't like it. Yeah,
it's very odd. And then part of it is also like the shitty fucking like anti women fans, and like
I still exist.
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh boy.
And there's this one thing I saw that I was just like shaking my head. It was like they were talking about how like they're claiming that the whole Natalie Portman it was all fake, it was all CGI.
The muscles.
Yeah. And because they showed her on the red carpet now, and then like someone came on, like her trainer came on and said like, dude, we finished shooting that like a year ago. Like she's not fucking taking all this protein and fucking working out anymore. Like of course it's, you know.
And there's behind the scenes footage, there's behind the scenes photos, and those muscles were hers.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, those muscles were all hers.
You know, and
one of the things, when we're coming out of the theater, I heard someone say, "Oh my God, those arms, those arms," and I was like, right.
It was very interesting. I mean, I wonder if it was like a CG thing, or I don't know how they did it, but like it's very interesting how they balanced that whole, like when she was Thor, she was big and this and that, and then when she was Jane, she was a lot smaller than she normally is, you know.
Yeah, she did seem like she had the bigger head.
Yeah,
when she was Thor.
Yeah. Well, what's it called?
The hair and all that, I guess. Yeah, the helmet.
I guess they revealed that the only CG they did on her when she was Thor was they made her taller.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because because when you show, I saw a bunch of, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shots of her and Valkyrie saying, and she's like way taller than Valkyrie, and like in real life they're like the same height.
No, and there's also a shot where she's standing next to Thor towards the beginning in the town, and she's at almost his chin nose level.
He's a big dude,
and he's So it makes sense.
I mean, I liked it for what it was. I think it was really good. I think you know, a lot of people complain about how they undercutted the whole cancer thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's a big adventure movie. I mean, I felt like, maybe they could have talked about it a little more, but like, it was already kind of a downer, man.
That's what I'm saying. Life's a series of down notes.
Yeah.
But no, Dad, I mean, we get it. She had cancer. And from people who have seen cancer, know cancer patients, they know what the shit they have to go through. Yeah. I don't think we need to be retold you know? That would have made it so much more darker and even, like, sad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was already pretty dark. It was basically, like, it was suggested she inherited it, right? Like, it was a biological, genetic thing.
Yeah.
And that's fucking depressing, man, because it was just like, because I remember reading, like, theories that, like, oh, they're going to tie it into the fucking, Reality Stone, because she had absorbed it.
Yeah.
And it's, like, radioactive, so, like, maybe that caused it, but then it's like, nope, they didn't do that. They were, you know.
Straight out, your mom had it, you're going to have it.
Yeah. Biff. Yeah, that's rough, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Taika Waititi, man. Like the guy hides sad movies in comedies, man. Like, I mean, even if you look at something like What You Do in the Shadows, like the movie, like it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's fucking sad too. Like they're really sad. Like, yeah.
Yeah, they're set in their ways. They're really, they're depressed.
Yeah.
Those vampires are depressed. Well, at least in the movie version.
So he's really good at that, man. He's really good at doing that kind of stuff.
Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, dude, that movie, I've seen it multiple times, and in the scene where he finds his mom, it gets me every freaking time, man.
Choked up, you're fucking,
yeah. I mean, dude, because if you really look at it, oh man, like she's always giving him shit for like not tying his shoes.
Yeah.
And he ties her shoe. Oh man.
You're getting me right now.
Right.
You're getting me right now. You know what? The last time I saw it, when that scene was coming up, I got up and started doing it. I didn't want to go through that. I heard it, but I didn't want to go through that.
Yeah.
Myself.
It's such a good movie, man. And it's like, I don't know.
You're having a good time, and all of a sudden it's like, you're done.
It's like you never think you're gonna get sad watching a fucking Hitler comedy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well he's Hitler. Right?
Yeah, he's Hitler.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he's such a good, he's so good, man. Like that, was it Reservation Dogs?
Yeah.
That's such a good show. That was like my favorite show last year.
Yeah. It's so subtle too.
Yeah.
It's not even. I thought that it's gonna be over the top. It's gonna be too in your face, and like you would, but no, it's very subtle.
No, it's really good, man. I mean, there's a lot. I think
sadness in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of sadness in it, but also he kind of fucks with you. You're like, there's like supernatural elements.
Yeah.
But then you're like, is this real? Is this really happening?
It's like
or
the Apache, the uncle and the weed.
Yeah.
Tripping out.
But so good. It's so like, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
I think he finds that way of like relatability, like, because dude grew up in fucking New Zealand, like, and then he's essentially a native person of New Zealand. Yeah. So like, he understands all that shit,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. I never thought about that. Because the reservation dogs, they're here in America, right? Yeah. They're not.
Yeah, it's like in Colorado or some shit. I don't remember.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Well, so it's funny though, I think because it's like him and then the fucking Flight of the Conchords and then Reese Darby. Mm-hmm. Like I just think like New Zealand's like the weirdest place in the world, man. Like
they gave us Xena.
Yeah, right.
They gave us Hercules.
No, but I'm saying like I just imagine if I one day ever visit New Zealand, I would just expect that to be that world. Like just everyone's all goofy and shit, and like
the Shire is there too. Fuck.
Yeah, it's so weird, man.
Well, when I was younger, I think that's where Zelda used to take place.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Their fantasy adventure. I was a little kid then.
Yeah.
I can read.
Yeah. But I think it's cool, man. Like I think the one thing I liked about this movie, and it's funny because it's a lot of people complain about this in general, the MCU movies.
Yeah.
And I feel like the last few of them, and this is Phase 4 or whatever, is like it's not like the earlier movies where they're not setting anything up, or maybe they are like, but they're not like in your face saying it up. You know what I mean? Like,
that's right. Look, this is a stone. This is a stone.
Because I even read somewhere that like at the premiere of the movie, at the end with the end credit, or whatever, it says Thor will return. Mm-hmm. Supposedly, I was reading this article that like Taika and Chris Hemsworth were like, he will, like they had no idea what's in store.
Wait, so who put it up there?
Fucking Feige.
Oh, okay. So, because usually when they put those, they will return in in this and that.
Although my favorite though is was it Guardians? Mm-hmm. I think the second one, or no, I think it was Infinity War.
Oh,
was it? I don't remember, but I remember like my favorite was that it said Thanos will return. And you're like, oh shit, like
yeah,
like that was cool.
That was Infinity War. That was before the
and it was just like, oh damn, like that's
yeah.
I don't know, man, and I think the other thing too is like this phase. Maybe we'll get further into it, or whatever. But like, we don't have our Thanos. We don't have our
big bad.
Yeah, I mean, like Gore the God Butcher in the comics is because Christian Bale did a really good job. Like he was fucking scary, man. Yeah. Like there was times I forgot it was him.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, there were shots obviously where you're like, oh, that's fucking bold Christian Bale, right? But I mean, like in the comics, he's a huge threat. I mean, he was a pretty big threat in this. Yeah. But yeah, like that could have been a big bad going forward.
Really,
I feel like if we read the comic background and all that stuff.
Well, they changed the sword. It's not Null's sword anymore.
Yeah, no, it's what's still all black, the Necro sword. But like, what they couldn't do was in the comics. Well, it was kind of a retcon.
Okay.
So they did. Jason Aaron did the Thor run with Gore and everything, and at the later on, Donny Cates took over Venom, and he tied it in. He was saying that the Necrosword was where the symbiotes came from,
right?
And so like those berserkers that those are supposed to be symbiotes.
Oh,
yeah. But then they changed it to like it was like a Shadow Realm, and that's like a whole thing from like earlier, like in the 60s. It was like a Steve Ditko thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they couldn't do symbiotes, but it was the same sword technically. I mean, I guess
in a way that maybe later on, if they do get Venom over, they can.
I mean, they could. I mean, at some point, because you figure because they left the little symbiote at the end of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I mean, it exists, But I mean, I guess they don't want to go that far.
Boo.
Yeah, but it still works. I mean, I like how and even then, like in the beginning of the movie where we see where the Necrosword came from. I like it just like this random black creature. Like it was just like this dead random black creature. And you're like,
they don't really give you an actual origin. It's just there. And he was there to kill that one god.
Yeah,
but failed.
He took him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I didn't realize this until like I was watching the thing. That first god we see, that sun god, whatever. That's the other dude from What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah. the I guess the classy guy.
Yeah. That was him, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. The guy without facial hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot that was the thing. He puts his friends in everything.
Yeah, and I think that was, and then the coolest thing that came out of this movie too is that we saw all these gods.
Yeah,
and so it's like, oh, all of this mythology exists in the MCU now, and it's fucking fascinating.
But since like the Valkyries and all that, that they're aliens. They're not. They say they're aliens.
Yeah,
they're not really
in a sense,
gods.
it's like it's supposed to be like transdimensional beings. Like they're just like, but because they came to Earth at certain points. People thought they were gods, or whatever,
Yeah.
But I mean, but I feel like they kind of went out the window in this movie, right? Because
there was everyone.
It was everyone.
Quetzalcoatl was there. Yeah.
I mean, you can still make the argument that they're the transdimensional beings or whatever, like I guess, right? But then it was just, but then they were dependent on people praying to them, right? Like
that's their bread and butter.
But that was really interesting though, because it was such good storytelling because. You have Gore, who's like, even in the comics, he was very like fuck the gods, like they don't care about us, and when we need them, they ignore us. I liked how they did that in this movie, where like that was his whole thing, and then when Thor goes to ask the gods for help, they're like, nah, like and then so they were like on the same path, like that was really good.
Yeah, but instead of saying fuck the gods, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna go take care of this shit. You know, fuck the gods, I'll take care of it. Gore was like, fuck the gods, I'm gonna go kill them. Yeah.
What's the thing too? Like, I think that's the whole thing. Is it like that ties into his whole worthiness? Yeah. Is it like you could tell like he's not? I feel like he doesn't even consider himself a god anymore. He considers himself a hero. Yeah. And that's very like because there's that line where he's like, that's what heroes do, and like he's always like trying to get rally people together, and like I think that's his whole thing.
Yeah. When he was at the town meeting. Or whatever.
Yeah. And so I think that's the whole thing that he's evolved because even like he gave up the throne to Valkyrie like in the Endgame.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and that was Thor Ragnarok. Yeah. That's a very interesting movie. Yeah, out of all those interesting movies, you think they'll give him another one?
Probably. I mean, you see, it made a ton of money. It was $143 million.
Yeah, top grossing Thor movie
in the freaking U.S.
Yeah, I think
it was over 300 worldwide.
That just tells me something. Yeah. People want to watch movies again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at freaking Top Gun. Like, I have no interest in that movie. I don't know why. I don't. And I think it's shitty to think this way, but I think it's just that people are so excited about that movie now. Now I have less interest in that movie.
Do you know anyone that saw it?
Mike saw it. He said it was cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know anyone that actually went to go see it.
That whole movie is so weird to me because, like, I've spoken to people that enjoyed it, right? But the reviews are so weird. They're just like, oh, it makes the first one better. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, like, I don't know.
I have no idea. Yeah. It's like if they were to make American Ninja now.
That'd be cool.
No.
Are they still alive?
No. I don't even know. Right. But if they were.
That'd be cool.
I'm just saying.
You wouldn't be down for that?
The son of some ninja he kills comes back and. No. I can't.
I mean, why not?
No. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what we're living in now, man. We're living in this whole like nostalgic era, like where like everything is a sequel to something, or like and I mean, I get it to a point. Like I was reading this thing about how like 90s stuff is becoming a big thing, and like cartoons and all that stuff. Yeah, And I read this really depressing essay, and it was just talking about how like, oh, the reason that is becoming even early 2000 stuff is becoming like a bigger thing.
Mm.
It's because it's like people like subconsciously are like, oh, I want to live in a world pre 9/11.
Oh, of course.
And like, like so it's really depressing, but it kind of makes sense. So like
it was an easier time back then.
I mean, was it?
Well, for me at least.
Yeah, right.
I didn't care about shit.
Yeah.
It was until 9/11 they were all cautious about everything.
Yeah.
You saw a brown person in the skin, like, oh my god.
Even that's when the comics got like real political, man. I think like it's like not in a bad way, but I'm saying that there was a lot of like metaphors for that. 9/11. There was a lot of like, I mean, there was something like directly like they actually did
Captain America fighting terrorists.
Yeah.
And, no more Hydra.
No.
Now they're
No, but I mean like it's just like but yeah, I think that a lot of times I forget what it's called, but there's actual like a psychological term for like it doesn't matter when you were born. Mm-hmm. A majority of people were like, "Oh, it was better in the freaking 40s. It was better in like
in early 2000s. It was better in the 80s.
I mean, was it though?
No, I mean, it was all coke and ugly ass jeans,
right.
But I mean, there was a lot of 80s clubs. There was a lot of 80s wears coming back.
They were just clubs back then, though. They weren't 80s clubs, right?
No, I'm talking about early 2000s, But yeah, I know.
No, but I'm saying like I just think it's like it's very like it's a whole thing. Like it doesn't matter where you're born, like what area you're born. Every person always is like has this romanticized version of like a time before.
Okay, in high school when all the kids were wearing the Doors shirt, those old 70s band shirts.
But see, and I think it's a rotation though, because like when Frances was in high school, she was wearing Nirvana shirts.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh fuck, I felt old, like
it was her 70s.
Yeah, right, basically.
Oh man.
But it's always like a thing, man. It's always a thing. Like I mean, don't get me wrong. I think like I kind of get that too. Like like I think like the 60s was cool for fucking the comics.
Yeah.
But everything else sucked, right?
Oh boy. I mean, your story is called nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, you didn't choose it.
No, I didn't do that.
But it fits. It works. And to the contrary, more people should be looking it up.
Yeah, like it's like a thing, like I think it's just, and I think with comics too, especially because I think every person. No, you know what? And it sucks to think this, but I think we're like the last generation when this is the case. But I think like most people, when they think about comic books, it always started when they were a kid.
Right.
Nowadays, it's like a lot of these people started when they're in their 20s and shit. Like, like it's just not like
later even.
Yeah. So I think that's like I think that's why you said like I didn't choose this name and I probably wouldn't have chosen this name, but like but it makes sense, like it ties back to everything,
the nostalgia of all of it. That's when people come in and they ask you, do you have any old comics?
And then you're like, oh, like then they start asking for 90s stuff, like that's not old. Shut up.
Exactly. That's Spawn #1.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I get the feeling of that. I understand that because I mean like we're reading Dark Crisis right now.
Yeah.
And if like a Cyborg Superman showed up, and I was so fucking happy. Like,
Head King Chop.
Yeah, I was like, this is cool. Like, like.
It's like, when's the last time you saw that fucker?
Yeah, no, like, and it's I don't know. I get that stuff,
But
like,
he got stomped out by Cyborg.
Yeah, it's Cyborg. He's the ultimate cyborg. It makes sense.
Yeah, I guess. But like when I guess the whole reign of Superman came out, I don't think he would have been able to handle him.
No. Cyborg got an upgrade for a freaking Flashpoint and like he got this huge upgrade. I mean,
Mother Box and other
stuff. They did this whole thing, and like I remember Jeff Johns wrote this one line in the original Flashpoint, where Cyborg is the greatest hero of that world because there's no Superman. There's no Superman. Wonder Woman's kind of a bad guy. Aquaman's kind of a bad dude. So like Cyborg is the greatest hero of this world.
Wow.
He is the Man of Steel because he's, right? And it's this great line that I was just like, oh, I get it now. I get why Jeff Johns, why he thinks he's such a big deal. And I think the president tells him, he's like, there's no wall or firewall you can't get through. And it's like, dude, in a digital world, Cyborg would be the greatest hero.
No firewall.
It makes sense.
That's funny. Cybercrime, watch out.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
But yeah, that's all nostalgia. I think that's the thing with it's good and bad because like you get these creators like Jeff Johns. He got to do all this stuff with DC, and the guy's favorite superhero is Cyborg, and he made him cool. Like, and I think it's like
he took the afro.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think it's like I think that's a big thing though. Like I think like we talk about this in The Simpsons. Like The Simpsons have been on so long
Yeah.
that people grew up with it are now writing for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's a good thing and a bad thing because it's fun, but they're also like self-referencing them. You know.
Yeah, very much so.
And it's just very like this is confusing. Like, you know, like
Not just then. I think they get a lot of those old episodes. Like, this is how I would have wrote.
Yeah.
It. You know, like they just redid Homer and Marge's origin. Again,
yeah,
You know.
always doing
so,
it. Yeah.
So yeah, this is how they would write it.
But I love the fact that like they're so like self-referencing and they're so self-aware of it. Like
Yeah.
I think I remember this one episode where I forgot what they were talking about, and Homer says something like oh yeah, like you know, back when I graduated college,
Yeah.
graduated high school, and he said something like it was either the late '70s or the early '90s, you know, like and depending on the season, it's like you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I don't know, like I know that bothers a lot of people, but I mean, like it's the fucking Simpsons. Like, I mean, it's just not. Why are you taking it so seriously? Like,
Bart's still 10 years old.
Yeah.
He should be 40.
yeah, and
You know?
yeah, seriously, right?
No, yeah.
But then on the flip side, did you hear about that? They're doing that King of the Hill thing.
Oh, for the revamp.
Yeah, but it's gonna be in real time.
So it's gonna be right now with the current situation of everything that's going on.
Yeah, and then like they're gonna be.
We gotta get the hooker and vampire crowd.
No man,
Stay up until midnight.
up until midnight. Oh man,
Imagine
you know it's funny. Who was asking me about that?
midnight.
Someone was like, "Oh, when are you gonna do the midnight release?" I'm like, I think I'm done with that. I don't think the last one we did was for like original metal, like Batman metal.
Yeah.
And I remember like getting the store ready for it.
Yeah.
And then about like 8 o'clock, me and Dre going to go eat, and we came back. We headed back here about 10:30.
Uh-huh.
And I remember like coming back and seeing the line of people and seeing the front of the old store like just full of cars. And I was just like, keep driving. Let's just go. Like, I don't want to do this, right?
Wow. But it was a good night, right?
Yeah, no, they're cool. I mean, it's a fun thing. I mean,
Every once in a while.
that's very dedicated to people coming out on a Tuesday night at midnight
Yeah.
to pick up a comic book, you know? Like, but I mean,
And it was people you never seen before.
yeah. Sometimes, yeah, there were some of the regular ones, but I mean, I think the coolest one for
Uh-huh.
me, and it was just like, it was just because it was an interesting experience.
Right.
Was doing the midnight. I think it was for Flashpoint.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, it was some Jeff Johns thing. Doing the midnight release for it, and then one of my regulars, he told me like I don't get off until the 1.
Are you gonna be open till then?
Yeah, and I said, you know what? Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, well I'm gonna try because he's like he lived nearby, so I was like,
Okay.
it's fine. So I'm like, all right. So I remember putting on just TV, whatever. I think I had like late night TV, whatever, and I was like just doing shit. And he got to the store, and it was about like 12:45 or something, like that, right? And I had late night Seth Meyers, and he had Jeff Johns on
Oh.
that night, and I'm like, this is cool. Like
That's a lucky break.
and we literally just sat there and watched him talk to Jeff Johns, and it was like, this is interesting. Like, yo.
Yeah, it's like 1:00, right?
Yeah.
After 1:30.
Yeah,
whatever.
and I was just like, this is kind of neat, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I grew. I was never a late night guy, but like I was like I like Conan and all that. But like when Seth Meyers became a favorite because he would do that. He would bring out Bendis and he'd bring out freaking I forget her name off the top of my head, but it's the creator of Miss Marvel and like he'd bring out freaking Jeff Johns and like it was just neat, like
Yeah, no other people do that.
yeah, no, because Myers is a big comic book guy.
Oh.
He's a huge comic book guy.
Oh.
So
That was a big drinker.
probably too.
Didn't they have that show?
Yeah.
Where he drinks?
But yeah, he's a big comic book guy, so it's kind of neat to see like comic book creators
Yeah.
on talk shows. Like it's like that we've infiltrated the psyche, like entertainment psyche.
Well, it's the biggest industry
Yeah,
right now.
it kind of is. And then it's funny because I remember before that one night I was watching Conan. And one of his guests was Gerard Way.
Right.
And for like a second, I remember I even texted Joanna and I said like, "Oh, Conan interviews comic book writers," and she's like, she's like, I'm like, "Oh yeah, oh never mind."
He does his other thing.
Does his other thing, right?
Music. Something about like a weird parade of
Yeah,
some sort.
something, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's just it's interesting how we know it. But I mean, I think nowadays it's like that's not even a very important because I think like now you have comic book creators that have their own podcast.
Yeah.
And they, and you can go listen to them talk about stuff. And it's interesting. I mean, yeah, it's interesting.
It's the world we live in now.
No.
And when we started maybe 20, 30 years ago, you ever think that was going to be a big thing?
No, I didn't. Because, I mean, I tell you, like, I have a very vivid memory. I was a kid. I was like 12, 13 years old. And there used to be an annual Marvel convention.
Right.
In the Sheraton Hotel.
Hotel convention.
Yeah. Near the airport.
Right.
Right. And I went every year. And half the time, my parents would just be like, pick you up at 5 or whatever, just like, like,
yeah.
They didn't want to put up with that nonsense, right?
No.
And I would go every year. And it was the craziest thing because to me, I'd be walking around like, oh, there's Jim Lee. There's, but if anyone else would be like, who cares? Like,
right? Who is that guy?
Yeah,
no one cares.
And now it's like they're like freaking rock stars and shit. It's crazy. Like, I don't know, man.
Pretty much. Well, you got to thank Jim Lee and all those guys for that.
Yeah,
turning this whole world upside down.
But it's I never would have thought that non-comic readers would know who these people were or care what they said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's interesting.
I think it's fun because you get a little insight because Because Will Eisner would put out this book every year where he would have interviews with creators, and I would buy that shit every year because it was fascinating. Like
he would just do it himself.
Yeah.
So he would be the equivalent of a podcast.
Yeah. And then someone would dictate it, and they would make a book out of it.
No.
I mean, there's some tapes out there. Like I think online they've gone. The tapes came out, but it's interesting. Like I would never guess that he was such good friends with Frank Miller.
Yeah.
You think like why?
They're best buddies.
Yeah, but it's so weird though. Like it's such like like opposites. Like
doesn't matter.
You
know what's funny? Seeing of opposite. There's that picture with Alan Moore and Jack Kirby.
Yeah, I love that picture.
Yeah, it's such a trip. At one point, they were hanging out together.
Yeah.
Same convention.
I'm very fascinated to see what that panel was like. Because Jack Kirby's like, what the fuck is going on with this guy, right?
Probably ranting and raving about Rasputin or something.
Yeah, something.
Magic around that.
But and there's a lot of cool. Like I think that's the saddest part about the whole thing is that there's not a lot of that. I mean, Stan tried to do that with those with those records, but that was fucking staged or whatever. But like, I've heard some like old recordings of like Jack Kirby on like college radio shows and stuff like that. And it's interesting. Like he was a very fascinating dude. Like he was just like this is the way he thought, and like the one that I always go back to that just fucking blows my mind every time is that the first appearance of Galactus.
Right.
Stan, gave Jack, the one paragraph. This is what this book's about. Mega comic, right?
Description.
Yeah, and the one paragraph was the Fantastic Four fight God, and that was it. And so, like, it's fascinating to think that because then you realize that's Galactus is what Jack Kirby thinks God looks like, right? Because before he had his name, he had a belt with a G on it. So it was for God.
Right, so Galactus.
No,
God.
And so it's like, and then he said that he's like, oh, they're gonna fight God. God needs an angel, and that's what the Silver Surfer is. And it's
Herald.
Like, and it's just very fascinating to think like that's the way his mind worked,
Well, if you look at the new gods, they're all in a weird way those old style gods with armor.
Yeah,
they got the beard. The devil's got the ugly face, the red eyes.
Well, I think that's where it all started. When you think about it, like he took the idea of like gods are just fucking aliens from somewhere else. Put
them in a superhero suit.
Yeah, exactly.
Genius.
Yeah, and then I think it's hilarious that like he did that at DC, create the new gods. He did this whole thing, and it became this big thing. And then he comes back to Marvel, and they're like, "Can you do that for us?" And he does Eternals.
Yeah,
and Eternals is different enough. I think it's interesting and it has its merits. And I think it's hard for people to get into that concept.
Yeah,
because even when that movie came out, that was the first time I feel in this whole MCU timeline, whatever that. I went into that movie not knowing what the hell was going to happen because my experience with the Eternals was just the Jack Kirby stuff.
Right.
And I remember seeing the trailer. I'm like, that doesn't look like the Jack Kirby stuff. So I have no idea what this is. I
mean, they try to get the suits kind of.
Kind of. I think with stuff like that, you either have to go all in or like not at all because I think like look at something like we go back to Thor Ragnarok. Yeah. That is one of my favorite movies aesthetically. like there's like these scenes where like they're watching the battles or whatever, and there's like a dude dressed like a Celestial.
Yeah.
Like the walls have those Kirby circuitry designs.
Yeah.
Which make no sense, but it looks cool. Like, and I think that is like, so with the Eternals, I think they didn't go far enough.
Yeah.
They should have went all in and just put bright ass colors.
More
and,
Kirby crackles.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I think it's just it's real interesting, man. There's a lot of like Kirby's an interesting dude. Like he's just a very interesting dude, and
Yeah, before Kirby, all those '90s guys, but then Kirby, he showed us a lot of stuff like that didn't make sense, but it worked.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I always gravitated to. It's like, where does that line go to? Who doesn't matter?
Yeah. Well, see, I think that's the thing. I think like Kirby started that whole like as much as shit that like Rob Liefeld gets for like not knowing anatomy.
Yeah.
See, he gets that, but then like Kirby, he just didn't care about it. Like he just like, does this look cool?
Yeah.
Cool. We're doing it. Like it just was like
the overgrown hand
punch. Yeah, like it just
coming at you.
It's just if it looks cool, then it works. And then it's a good lesson to have with like fiction, man. It's just like if it works, it works. Like I mean, Liefeld, I think he gets a lot of shit for it because he takes it too far. I think like
those muscles.
Yeah, and I think like it's just kind of like this whole like I mean, and probably in his head he's like this looks cool, but like most people are like, does it?
It's not that cool, guy.
Well, yeah, man. There's fucking Jack Kirby, man. He's a fascinating dude, and like, I think he just needs to. A lot of people don't give him his dues, though, man.
Well, we grew up post-war, in the world full of hippies.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who's straight edge, going through all that. I mean, what is he gonna do?
Yeah.
See,
this is one of my favorite quotes of Kirby. Is like I remember I always said like this is such a great quote, and like I know it's not. Well, I don't know.
Not comics will break your heart.
No, well, it's true. Right? No, my favorite quote was when they asked him one time on a radio show. They asked him about his politics.
Oh,
and I think he was a very spiritual person.
Yeah,
like he wasn't religious per se, but he was just very spiritual, and he would talk about that. Like
Yeah.
Where Stan, on the other hand, was like very religious. He was a very religious guy. But he said, as far as his politics go, he's like, you know what? The only thing. My politics are like, if you agree with Hitler, I'm gonna kick your ass, basically, right? And it was like he said it like was it knock the stuffing out of you or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, right?
Wow.
And it's like, yeah, okay, like,
if you're an asshole, fuck you.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And it's like, yeah, true,
All right. Simple.
Yeah.
All right. If everyone followed that, we wouldn't have asshole presidents, asshole people in the Senate.
That's true, man. Just don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Jack Kirby will kick your ass.
Fuck, we need more Jack Kirbys in this fucking world. Jesus Christ.
That's what we should do. We should do like just like have a character, right?
Yeah.
And he just goes around like if you're an asshole and he just gives you that Kirby punch. It's just call him Kirby punch. Like
Kirby punch.
Just
boom. It's like One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Done.
But he punches assholes, right?
All around the world.
All around the world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you can get in trouble for that now.
Probably, yeah. Probably not, That's not a thing.
Yeah, we could do it then.
We could do it. I mean, we could still. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, is it a bad thing to punch a Nazi?
No, never.
Right?
Never.
And there's a lot of these modern,
I mean, there's sex. The sect of certain things, green or whatever,
I mean, people make a big deal about it, but like we've always had fucking American Nazis. I mean, like they had a Madison Square Garden, they had a conference back in the 40s or whatever. Right? So it's like, it's not a new thing. It's just it's just come up to the surface. Like,
oh my god,
and we don't have Kirby to fucking tell him to
punch him.
Well, we punch him, right?
Jeez,
I'm surprised they haven't made that movie yet, man.
That Kirby movie.
I would love that movie.
Yeah,
because there's that other famous story about how like when he was doing Captain America, he got a call from like the front office.
Oh,
and they were like, "Hey, there's these two guys down here, and they're like pretty pissed off about Captain America punching
Nazis."
Yeah, and they told him that like he said they have a message for you.
Yeah,
and then he said, "Oh, he came downstairs." And they pointed to like the telephone poles, and they were like, "Which one do you want to be hung from?"
Oh boy!
And he told the secretary, "I'll be right back." And he went outside with him, and he came back, and he looked all roughed up, but like he kicked their asses, like,
for real.
Yeah, and I've seen multiple people tell this story, and it's like, wow,
wow. Wait, so people were witness to this?
So, I mean, they said he came back, and he was like, his knuckles were bloody and that shit, right?
Well, he came back.
Yeah, he came back.
So that's the end of the
Mm-hmm.
story.
Yeah.
There he's
And
not
he was he was a little dude. Like
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, he wasn't a big guy.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I would like to get a time machine and go to that.
Go watch that
Go
fight.
watch that fight at least. Shit. And so
But-
people will go back and kill Hitler. You know what? Hold on. Before we go do that.
Let's go watch Kirby kick some ass.
Yeah. Because without Hitler, we wouldn't have that fight.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It's fine.
But it's just like yeah, man. That's like it used to annoy me a lot more, but I'm just kind of got over it over the years, right? It used to annoy me that like Stan Lee got so much credit for all this stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, come on, like you gotta acknowledge a lot of other people.
Well, here's the thing: the artists don't get much credit.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a big issue. That's a big problem. And
Now it's okay. Now it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
But before, no, it was just.
well, I mean, did you read about that Marvel thing of like where VFX houses don't want to work with them anymore
Oh, what?
because they have like these crazy freaking deadlines,
What?
and they don't like. And they're just basically pushing their weight around.
Yeah.
Like, where they're not, like, they're giving these crazy deadlines, but they're not, like, upping, like, budgets and shit. They're just like, nope, fucking guy, get done by this point, or, like, we're not going to work with you again.
Wow.
But now there's this whole, like, shift where there's a lot of these visual effects houses that are just like, well, we don't fucking care. Like, we're just done with you.
Wow.
So it's going to get to a point where they're going to have to fucking fix things.
Yeah. Either
'cause-
fixing or get their own
yeah, yeah.
VFX company.
I mean, I wouldn't be
themselves.
surprised. I mean, they own Lucasfilm, right? Industrial Light and Magic, so.
They have, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, until they go on strike.
Yeah, until that happens.
Jeez.
But yeah, no. So it's kind of sad because you think about it, because this fucking Marvel is still doing the same bullshit from like the '60s and shit now, just different era, different,
Yeah. What they need is they need a crash again.
Yeah, that's what they need. Yeah.
And they're good fucking money taking.
I don't think that's gonna happen, man. Disney has too much money, man. It's
Yeah.
just
And they make them too much money as well. So
Yeah. I mean, dude, look at that shit. Fucking one weekend, $300 million. Fucking
Yeah.
Thor.
yeah,
Who would have thought?
yeah.
You know.
Where's their bonuses?
Yeah.
No way.
Because it was that whole thing too. Like, I mean, that's always been an issue. Like, even with like Jason Aaron
Yeah.
created Gore the God Butcher. They paid him $5,000.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it?
for the movie.
Oh, for the movie.
Yeah, they gave him $5,000.
And that's it because we're gonna use your character and you're never gonna talk about this ever again.
Yeah, no. You could whatever, but like, yeah, that's the standard. Like,
$5,000.
if they take a character that you created,
Uh-huh.
$5,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you know what? I mean, it's pennies compared to like what they're making off of it.
Yeah.
I'll give them this. It's something.
It's
Where in the past they would have been like, "Fuck you, go away." Right?
We own it now,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's with the whole Bob Kane and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the what is Bill something
The
name?
Bill Finger.
Bill Finger, yeah, the whole Batman thing
Yeah.
they weren't getting.
Well, that was different. That was like Bob Kane taking credit. Like
yeah,
he just like.
he got the whole
Yeah,
sole credit. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what they're doing now. I mean, I guess I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, it's a raw deal. It's a real raw deal. But at least you can say like,
It's out there.
it's out there, and they give you the credit, like it's on the thing. Like you could say like, oh, I created this.
That's my name up there.
And I think the idea is that like, if Jason Aaron wanted to go pitch a movie,
Yeah.
he could be like, well, that gore is something I created, and it's based on blah 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 blah. And
Yeah, and
And
now
back-
make another one similar to.
yeah. And then back then they couldn't do that. And back then they were like, nope, we own this and it's ours, and
That's it.
That's it.
Enough said.
Exactly.
Jeez.
I'm sure that's what Stan would tell people. Like,
Enough said.
Enough said. Fuck off. But it's I don't know.
It is what it is.
Me and Javier Hernandez always have this discussion about how like it's always funny that like these young people, or not young people, but people go into Marvel,
Yeah.
create this stuff, and then it gets taken away from them, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And it's like they've been doing this forever. Like like why are you surprised? Like
Yeah. Well, because they don't check their stuff. They don't
Yeah.
they don't know about that. They're just thinking, oh, it's Marvel.
Yeah.
I gotta go in. Gotta get in.
I mean, and then like me and Javier have always had the discussion about like it's a very weird. Comics are very weird because you have like these creators that make their name on create their own stuff, like Robert Kirkman.
yeah.
He was at his height, and then he went to go work for fucking Marvel, and like why? Like it's weird.
Yeah.
And but that happens a lot, right? And I think a lot of it has to do with like I don't know. Javier always had a discussion like oh maybe because you get a bigger profile, like oh I worked on Thor for a little while. I did
Yeah.
I did Spider-Man for a little while, like and you can fucking use that to like get a bigger gig later on, I guess, right?
Get bigger pay and everything.
Yeah. I mean, that's the argument. But in my head, I'm like, no, I think what it is like, if you make it in comics, you're a fan of comics.
Yeah.
And if they came to us right now and said, we're not going to pay you, but we get to do a Spider-Man book.
Oh, well, of course.
Fucking do it, right?
Yeah. Oh, in a heartbeat.
Because it's just like you get to play with shit you grew up with, and I get that. Like I get that. Like, but the thing is it a fair payout, a trade-off to like you're not getting your fair share? Probably not, but it's fun.
It's like when you used to go to the playground and you used to see that kid with the cool toys and stuff, and he'd be like, "Okay, you can play with it, but only for a little bit, and you can only do this with it.
You can't change it too much, right?
Yeah, don't get it dirty.
No.
You know." I guess you'd still be like, "All right, cool. I don't have this toy. I want to play with it.
Yeah.
Cool." But
I mean, at the end of the day, though, I think it's just playing with the toys, man. Like you know, like I tell you, like if I was offered like even the randomest fucking Marvel thing, I would be it'd be fun, you know. Like
here's Shang-Chi. Make something out
I don't know if I could do that. Like I have a pitch. I mean, we can't do it now because they changed the character so much.
Yeah.
I had a pitch forever for the X-Men's Gold Balls.
Oh my god.
And Speedball.
Together in one?
Yeah.
Call it Blue Balls.
No. Who should be called Balls to the Wall, right?
Balls to the Wall. Excellent.
And the whole premise was just like, because after Hickman left the book, after Bendis left the book, I was like, oh, no one cares about gold balls anymore. Like, I thought it was hilarious, right? This whole idea that this guy just makes fucking gold balls, right?
That's the thing.
And so I always had this idea, like, oh, I want to do like a fun book where no one cares about him anymore. Yeah. He's not even like fucking X-Men aren't calling him anymore. Like, they're not gonna put him on a team.
No.
And so he decides like, oh fuck it, like, cause he's kind of a nerd. He decides like, fuck it, I'm gonna do the convention circuit.
Yeah.
And he basically like in Speedball was a childhood actor.
Yeah.
Right. So I was thinking like he would do these conventions too.
Right.
And I was thinking like they end up meeting because the organizer keeps confusing them.
Yeah.
Right. Because it was like, oh yeah, whatever.
The guy with the balls.
The guy with the balls, right?
Yeah.
And so eventually I think like something happens at these conventions and where they're the only legit superheroes there.
Oh.
And they end up like saving the day and everyone's like, oh, you know,
amazing, great.
So they're like, oh, we have to capitalize on this. And it was just this whole idea of like them going on this road trip and just doing like stupid shit.
Like Green Lantern and Green Arrow.
Yeah, and it was just like this dumb thing. Like at one point I had this idea where they end up like training together and they realized like, oh, we could
fuse our balls.
Yeah. So basically like he could make these gold balls. And then Speedball could like kinetically charge them and then like fire it out like a cannonball, right?
That'd be pretty cool,
right? I even had this idea that like oh, they have to do something kind of badass with that.
Yeah.
So my idea was that like the Juggernaut is just rampaging, and they fucking do it, and they knock his helmet off.
Right. It's hard to do.
And then they're like, oh shit, right?
Yeah. Knock his helmet out. Maybe with the second one, knock him out.
Yeah. Right.
You know.
And it was just like this dumb idea I had, but I was like thinking like, you know, if I could ever do that, that'd be fun because nobody gives a fuck about those characters, right?
No. When's the last time you heard about Speedball at all?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but Gold Balls, fucking Hickman made him imported.
Yeah.
He's one of the mutants that like
makes actual
to make him come back to life. Yeah, yeah. Because like you find out, like, I think Hickman retconned it where like they're not balls, they're fucking eggs.
Sure.
Yeah, and then they can manipulate those eggs to create. Yeah, and I was like, lame.
Lame. I like my fun idea better.
Yeah, I think he changed his name to Egg. I think his name is Egg now.
Really?
Yeah, I fucking hate it.
Okay.
So no balls to the wall. It's never gonna happen now. Sad.
It's a good name though.
That's a good name, right?
Yeah, good name for the series.
I think I even joked about like, oh yeah, they're on a road trip, right? And then like they have the dented Juggernaut's helmet on the hood of their car as like, look what we did, right?
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, it's fun stuff, man.
The dented.
Yeah.
It's dented.
It's dented. Yeah. We knocked it off, right?
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Crazy shit, man.
Good times, man. Wow. Good times.
Marvel's never going to let you do that.
No, never going to let me do that. It's sad.
I know.
And then yeah. Sad. But I think the key is like just have fun with it. Don't create new characters.
No.
Like fuck it. Like, you know, they're going to steal it anyways. You know, just don't do it.
Use what they got.
Or if you're gonna do it, fucking just know that's gonna happen. Like, you know, like, right?
Yeah. Make sure you use your A game.
Yeah, exactly.
Come with your B and C game.
Yeah, because there's a famous story about how like Mark Silvestri nearly pitched Cyberforce as an X-Men spin-off book.
Wow.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Yeah. that would have been Cyberforce in the Marvel universe for like 30, 40 years. Whatever it is now.
Yeah. So So I think that's the thing, man. Just fucking have fun and
Yeah.
expect them to steal your shit and
Yeah.
maybe you'll get $5,000 and make a movie.
Like you know what you could do with $5,000?
You could, I mean, $5,000 isn't not a lot of money.
Yeah.
But but I get it for a movie that made $300 million in a weekend. Yeah. That's not a lot of money.
Like, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, you're not gonna do anything anyway.
Yeah.
It's free money.
Like honestly, give me the $5,000 and invite me to the premiere, and I'm good.
Noted. Yeah. Red carpet.
Yeah. That's all.
They don't want you to put you through the back, send you through the back. No, want to walk the red.
Yeah, want to walk the red target. Okay. I want to fucking
Yeah.
Fucking rub shoulders with fucking Tiger Waititi, whatever. Like it's cool.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Who plays Gold Balls.
Gold Balls. He fucking gained 50 pounds for the role. Like.
Fuck it.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I think end of the day, I get it. It's a business. Comics is a business, but you just gotta have fun with it, man.
Yeah. So far, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Yeah. Comics, man.
They'll break your heart.
Break your heart. And they teach you to punch Nazis.
Not against that.
It's a good rule.
Yeah. The latest book I read was Superman Smashes the Klan.
Yeah.
At least they're still doing books like that.
Yeah. That's based off an old radio play, man.
Yeah.
They gotta make that movie. Just make a movie out of it.
Yeah.
I fucking watch that shit.
Yeah, one of those DC direct whatever.
Yeah, not even theatrical.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Live action?
I mean, who's gonna piss off? Like the Klan? Who fucking cares? Like
someone out there cares. Someone out there is gonna get shot.
I mean,
It's somewhere people are always getting mad about something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, might as well.
I mean, and it's not like they don't shy away from shit. They're making the Joker movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I was surprised that we didn't get more fucking bullshit that came out of that. Like people like seeing that and like, oh yeah, he's the hero. Like, right?
Yeah. Well, people were praising it.
Yeah, I was afraid, man.
Yeah. I mean, all those people that came into the store were like, "Did you see it?
Yeah.
It was amazing."
But I don't get it, man. Like I mean, like I that movie made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching that movie, I'm like, oh shit, some shit's gonna go down. Like,
you're thinking like when you get out of the movie theater, riots and stuff.
Oh yeah, I was expecting something, man. I'm just like, this is gonna inspire some idiot to do something stupid and like.
I mean, it inspired a lot of people.
I guess is that dance?
Yeah. Thank you. Those stairs were never safe.
No.
San Francisco.
Yeah, I remember reading that about how like people were complaining because like people kept making dancing those stairs, and it's like, dude, you have to get through there to get to work, or like.
Yeah, but they gotta do their little TikTok.
Gotta do that dance. Gotta do that Joker dance.
I mean, if I ever go to San Francisco,
gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
You gotta do it. I think it's New Jersey.
New Jersey, was
I think so, or something like that.
It was one of those.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Weird two-syllable towns.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think superhero movies need to like take that stance. They need to take that because you play it safe. Like even the Captain America movies are like Hydra. They're not Nazis. It's fucking Hydra. Like they mention Hitler and this and that, but we never see him, or we never like it's just
Nope, it's just a Red Skull.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like it's like, oh, Hydra's worse, and you're like, okay, I guess like.
Yep.
I don't know, man.
Takes all kinds.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what do we have planned?
August 3rd, right? August 3rd, we have a Godzilla signing.
Yeah. I'm excited for that. You got the artist and the writer on that.
Yeah. Well, so it's actually a really interesting thing how this happened because our friend Mark Martinez. Well, I've worked with him for a little while. Like he's contributed art to every art show we've ever had in the store, and I've seen and we've sold his self-published books and whatnot, and Samurachi, and then he's done like every cape we've done, like it's a cool guy. Like I've seen his work progress throughout the years, and and he got this gig where he got to draw the variant cover for this Godzilla book.
Yeah,
and it was really interesting because I saw it. I was like, holy crap, this is cool.
Yeah,
and I reached out to him right away, and not to try to like jump on, this. And then I honestly, and I reached out to him, I reached out to the writer too, and I said like, no, this is really cool. I think, and I offered him, we offered a signing as like a celebration.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, like, you one of us fucking did it. Like one of us, like made it, and like, this is cool,
Yeah, dude. I didn't even know he was that big into kaiju.
Yeah, I mean, now, and so, so we talked to him, and then he told me, like, oh, the writer is local, too.
Yeah.
And I reached out to her, and she was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. So, we're doing this signing. That's gonna be a fun one.
October 3rd, huh?
October 3rd.
That's a Wednesday.
It's August 3rd.
August.
Yeah.
Why did I say October?
I don't know.
August.
You're too far in the future.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So August 3rd. It's a Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna have the books and
2 weeks after this airs.
Yeah, some of that. Yeah. That's gonna be fun, man.
Oh,
I'm excited for that one.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Like I said, we're gonna be able to have a Godzilla.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We have a legit Godzilla signing. That. I mean.
Yeah, I'm tripping balls.
Yeah.
I
don't know, man. I think it's very interesting. Like I was talking to Patrick about it today. How this is such a different just atmosphere to the old store, and I think obviously it's the size and everything, right? But I think it's just it's so weird how and we haven't been here a year, and we've had some pretty big signings.
Yeah.
We've had some pretty cool events.
Yeah.
And it's just
well, the Jurassic League.
Yeah, that was a huge one.
Yeah,
and
I'm surprised more people didn't show up to that one.
I mean, yeah, it was pretty big. But the thing is, that one tripped me out because but again, it's all about your fucking relationship as well. Because I mean, that dude, I've known him for a while.
Oh, okay.
He used to come into the old store, we talk this and that, and so they're just it's just it just works out though. I think that's the thing, and
it's about who you know.
Kind of, I think,
and just keeping that good relationship going,
And I think that's the thing, like we said, just don't be a dick, right?
Right, easy.
But I think, I mean, it's just weird how everything's working out, like the freaking, we had the fucking Good Boy. Yeah. The writer's a Good Boy, right?
Yeah.
And those people are from Indiana or some shit, right? And so and that was just a dude that I started following a while ago. Uh-huh. And he just had all these cool Kickstarter books, and then I remember the Good Boy dropped on Kickstarter. I'm like, dude, this is trippy. This is really cool.
Yeah.
And I remember I gave to that Kickstarter, and I did the whole thing. And then out of nowhere, he was like, I'm doing a tour. Can I sign at your store? I'm like, okay.
Wait, he approached you?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around.
Well, because I would message him every once in a while, when I would just be like, oh, this looks cool. And I never expected a response or anything, but he would always respond. He'd be like, "Oh, thanks," and he would tell me "Oh, we're working on this and this." Sometimes he would actually send me just random sketches, "Oh, check this out." I'm like, "Oh man,"
That's a guy who's not too big for his britches.
No, yeah,
that's awesome.
And so it's been working out, man. Yeah, it's been working out.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we've had several signings here, and stuff like that, little events, bigger events, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think our biggest one was Chris Birmingham.
Yeah,
and he was doing fucking Batman at the time,
Yeah, a pretty big Batman book, if I remember.
Yeah, he killed Damien.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
He brought up Batcow.
Yeah, right.
He brought back Batcow.
And it was just I think it gets fun, man. I think, what, as I get older and the more I do this, I start realizing it's not important. And I remember early on, I used to always be like, oh, how come that store has Mark Waid? How do they pull it? It's not important. It's just you know what? You do what you do, I mean, would I like to be one of those stores where fucking Jeff Johns comes and fucking hangs out? Yeah, cool. That'd be cool, but it's not important, know?
I mean, do you really gonna get a better conversation with him than some other your customers?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Some of these guys know more than him. He does,
Yeah.
They're more eclectic. They read different books and stuff like that.
I think I mean, not to talk shit. I'm not talking shit about but I feel we're not a touristy store or not a landmark store. People when they come to LA, oh, go to Golden Apple.
No, yeah.
Golden Apple when I was a kid was the coolest store ever.
Yeah.
Now it's cool, but it's a touristy store. And I think a lot of those places, I used to make the argument with when Meltdown was a thing.
Yeah.
Meltdown was cool.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Meltdown was cool, but I don't think there was very many people that were going to get their weekly books there. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me.
The only time I would get any books would be an indie book
that
I wouldn't see anywhere else.
Some fucking imported Tintin or right.
Yeah. In Chinese.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's just I think it's all about priorities, man. It's all about what you want to do, and at the end of the day, big signings, they help, but
it's about what you want to do. I mean,
although Marty is very determined to get Kevin Smith in here.
Nah.
Because he has a line of books coming out, and I'm like, I don't think it's gonna happen, but whatever. He's
got his own store,
Well, not here, not in LA.
Oh, he doesn't have them.
No.
Oh, okay. No. So in that case, it can.
It's a possibility.
And then you can wear your coat. And it'd be awesome.
It'd be awesome, but like I don't think that happen. No. But like it'd be cool.
I mean, in the middle of nowhere. I mean, again, if it was a meltdown, if it was Golden Apple, okay. Yeah.
But whatever. You never know.
Well, hit him up.
I might as well.
Yeah. But, hey, you want to come down to San Gabriel, middle of San Gabriel? It's nothing here, but we're actually in the ghetto part of San Gabriel.
We're in the ghetto part of San Gabriel, so to speak, right? What it says.
Yeah.
You might be down. You might be down. You never know.
I'm in.
But yeah, man, I think it's fun, man. Like I think
having a good time with it.
I am, man, and like you know what, like it just hit me the other day that this September is gonna be my 10 years running this shop, and it's doesn't feel that long.
No,
I mean some days it feels longer, but like but I think it's just you just enjoy what you do, man.
But you said some days, not certain some months.
Yeah, no, that's But you know what? It's funny. Like 4th of July. 4th of July, I took the day off.
Finally.
Yeah, and most people would always tell me like, "Fucking take a day off, take a day off." And I'm just like, you know what? I've come to the conclusion that if I'm gonna do it now, I have to do something. I can't like do nothing. It's the worst. I hated it. Yeah. Right. And
go to fucking Disneyland.
Yeah.
Somewhere,
But I had I was arguing with somebody about that, and they were like, "No, you're just being stubborn. You need to take the day off." And and I was arguing with them, and I had that Clerks 2 moment where I was like, no, you don't get it. Like, it's not a normal job. Like, people hate their job, and I get that. And, like, it's very rare if people enjoy what they do. And I said, I enjoy what I do. Yeah. I said, I get to sit around surrounded by comic books. I get to spend time with my friends. Like, it's not the same thing, and
it's your clubhouse.
Yeah. And then, but I have that anxiety, though, like, because there's a whole thing about being self-employed. Yeah. And it's like, you can take the day off and no one will question you. Yeah. Right. But in the back of your head, you're like, oh, I'm losing out on this. I'm losing out on that. And I feel that sometimes.
Well, like I said, my money was on you going to end up on that day you took off here.
Yeah. I thought about it, man.
Yeah, I'm serious. Well, we have this poster here. I've always liked that poster. You choose a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And that's very much your mantra when it comes to this place, you're here every freaking day.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things like you would say, oh, not by choice, but I think it's by choice.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Because you can easily say, hey, I need you to take over a day for me. Yeah. Hey, Marty, take over this day for me or something like that. You could have done that.
No, but the thing is, like I always say that, like when I first opened the store, I would always have people asking for a job, and then my response was like, well, if I hire you, what am I gonna do all day? Yeah. And it's kind of still true, I mean, people even when Marty was working here, like right after the pandemic happened. People were like, "Wait, you're there too?" Yeah, and I'm like, "Well, yeah." Like, and it wasn't because I didn't trust her. It was just because no. The point of having someone here is to do shit, get shit done,
that extra pair of hands.
Yeah, like it's not about
It was one of those things the worst you would do would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get some food."
Yeah,
you have someone tending the store. You're gonna get some food. I'm gonna go to Target while I'm there.
Yeah,
Yeah. We joked around saying, "Oh, we're gonna go to the Warner Brothers Studios."
Yeah, we kept saying we're gonna do that to her.
But we never did.
No, we never did
because again, you want to be here.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I don't, and it's fun. I don't feel like it's an obligation. I really don't. Like I don't
It's your baby.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Your baby shouldn't be an obligation.
No, it's not. It doesn't feel like an obligation. Like
you're a bad parent every time.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I do stress out about it a lot, but it's what it is, But it's cool, man. I like it.
Not gonna complain.
But I keep saying telling Joanna that I think, this September we should do something. We should fucking go celebrate somehow or something. Because it hit me, man. It was like, oh shit, it's been 10 years. Yeah. It's been 10 years since I bought this store. That's wild to me. Yeah. It does not feel like that.
A quarter of your life.
Kind of, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
because I remember I bought the store in the September and I was 29 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a full year would be, yeah.
So a quarter of your life.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Right? The first 20 were used education.
Kind of, yeah. You think about it, yeah.
The next 10 were just, bouncing here or there. They're trying to figure it out. Yeah. And
that's it. Yeah, here it is.
Boy, oh boy.
It's fine. I mean, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. But when you mean you're going to do something, you mean you're going to do something with the store? Or?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet? September's around the corner.
I know, it really is.
Have a signing, get Kevin Smith in here?
Oh, man, that'd be great, right? That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just saying.
Maybe Marty's onto something.
Yeah. That'd be pretty big.
That would be pretty big.
I mean, one of the biggest reasons you're kind of here is because of that guy.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, it was funny because I remember I could pinpoint it, right?
Yeah.
Where I didn't know about Kevin Smith
Right.
until he started writing Daredevil.
Oh.
Like I'd seen Mallrats.
Yeah.
But I watched it because we were like, oh, they talk about comic books. I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. Right?
Yeah.
Stan Lee's in it. Like, you know, like, and I'd seen Mallrats, but I didn't really know. And so when they announced he was doing Daredevil, I was like, the fucking Mallrats guy? Like, weird. And so I went, I'm like, all right. So that book was coming out in the summer.
Right.
And I was about to go off from school. And I literally went to Blockbuster and rented all those movies, and I started watching it. I'm like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
This makes sense. Like, I'm like,
he's a very torturous soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it'd be cool, you know. I don't know, something.
It's something.
They gotta do something. I think it's like 10 years. It's kind of a
big.
It's quarter of my life. I keep saying.
Fuck. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
You know, as compared to other people.
Yeah.
Just talk about it.
Yeah.
You're here.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Nothing. I just got stuck. Right? I think I keep joking. I remember like one time me and Joanna were talking about it. I don't know how it came up, but I said, yeah. I go, fucking anything happens. I go, you, her, and Marty are getting the store.
Wait, us three?
Yeah, 3.
Us 3 equal you?
Oh yeah.
Somehow.
Somehow.
I'm going back to the pence on the paper.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, the store has been a crazy fucking journey, man. It really has.
It really has.
You know,
I'm glad to be part of it for one
of
little
course,
bit
man.
of it, you know?
Like I mean this to you too. I mean, I sent Marty a picture. I took a picture of the store right as the sun was coming down.
Right.
Because I really wanted to, you know, I've been trying to get up. Everyone's like, show me the front of the store. And I was trying to do it. It's too sunny and this and that.
Yeah.
So I took this picture of the store last night. Before I left, the sun was still out. And I posted it in my story.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Marty had liked it. She, you know, and I said, oh, we have a really pretty store.
Oh.
And then I said, and I mean that is like, you know, like, yeah, like it's not all me, you know. No. It's like, you know, it's you and Marty and Joanna and, you know, everyone, you know.
It puts in their little 2 cents
here
and there.
I always say that, man. I always say, like, this place wouldn't be here if not for not just you guys, but, like, everybody, man. This is a community thing, you know.
Yeah.
You know?
Dre did his podcast here for a while, you know. People come here. There was events for Zine Fest, you know, little things like that.
Like, this is like...
the people that come through.
And the thing is, like, not that I was getting bored with it, but I think like the pandemic, for better or worse, man, was like a good kick in the ass, man.
Eye
like,
opener.
Yeah, because it really was. We're like, you know, like I'm telling you, like I remember the day before the lockdowns happened, being so stressed out, and someone fucking telling me like, well, you know, did you expect it to last forever? And in the back of my head, I was like, kind of. Like, you know, and I think it was like, that was a good kick in the ass, man, because I was too comfortable over there, you know, the old place. And I think this was a good, you know.
You can do more.
Yeah, pretty much, you know, like, and like.
There's a potential here.
Yeah, so I just, more. You know, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I gotta do it, you know. Yeah, I don't want to be that dude that just kind of like, books over there. Yeah. Go get them. Like,
the typical comic clerk.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. And so yeah, man, the fact that it's still standing and the fact that it's...
Well, I mean, you're not the typical comic clerk. We've done events, like you said. Big events. The Cape, the UCLA Cape, you know, that's a big event. The Fairview Con, right in front of this old store, that's a big event, you know.
Well, I mean, see, the thing is, I think, was it, who said it? Was it Samuel L. Jackson or whatever, talks about how, like, he picks roles about, like, depending on like what he would have thought as a kid was cool.
Oh.
And I think the same thing with me, were in the sense that like Cape was it came out of like, why don't we have a comic book convention in UCLA? Right. You know, like every other major city had one. And I remember as a kid, I always were like, why don't we? You know?
UCLA is a big town.
Yeah.
Or not a big town, but you know, everyone knows UCLA. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like when when we first approached the idea of doing it, in the back of my head, I was like, is this a bad idea? Because I was thinking like, there are enough people in the community that are gonna, you know, do this, and then like that first one, I was like, oh shit, like, you know, like, yo, like,
stop,
you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, it's the truth, man. You make it, you build it, they'll come.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just,
No, not just that. I mean, okay, when the first started, I'm like, all right, we're gonna do this. To
Yeah.
me, I was like, it's gonna be a big swap meet.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? And it was, yeah, a little bit of that,
Yeah.
but it was more than that,
Oh, yeah,
dude.
yeah.
There was artists, writers, there was wrestlers, there was,
Yeah.
it was a wild fucking
Oh,
show.
yeah, man.
Wild fucking
I
show.
mean, dude, the only thing that to me, and it's not even a big deal, but like
Yeah.
to me, would have made it perfect is if we had a big fucking hotel in East LA and we could have it in a fucking banquet hall. We got the closest thing we can get. We got a quinceañera banquet hall, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, like that would have been.
But that's very LA though.
Oh yeah.
A quinceañera
Oh
banquet hall.
yeah.
I love
That's
that.
true. And but yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is. I think it's like when you do something you want to do, it's not. I mean, it's work. It's bullshit when they say like, oh, you're not work. It's work.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
it's like when you're doing something you have to do.
Yeah.
And you're just like you're not getting anything out of it, like mentally or like like I think it's that then it's not.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I don't get anything mentally out of this. So.
I think you do.
Oh, really?
I think you do. I
You
think
get peace of mind.
I think you
Sorry.
do. I think you enjoy it more than you
Then I let on.
like to admit.
It's a hassle, but anything.
Oh yeah.
Anything worth
everything
it.
worth it. Yeah. That's the truth, man.
Yeah, it pretty much is. I mean, I got this new program now that I got to figure out how to fucking edit. So
Yep.
should be fun.
Should be fun. How hard could it be?
Yeah, I got 2 days to figure it out. No
You can
problem.
just a little pinch and
Right, sure.
I don't know.
Like right now, it stopped doing the little waverly thing, so I don't
But
even know.
hopefully it's still recording.
Yeah.
I think it is, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, I mean, 10 years.
10 years.
10,
It's a long time.
Dirty ass years.
Yeah.
Holy guacamole.
Like I think there's always these markers that show me how long we've been doing this.
Uh-huh.
And like our friend Emmanuel, his daughter,
Oh, of course.
we met her. She was a baby.
Yeah.
The baby's going to college now.
Yeah.
To be a lawyer.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking old.
Because, yeah, before owning it, we
Yeah.
worked it.
Yeah.
You know?
And now, like, I have this one dude that brings his twin daughters in, and I didn't realize until like a couple years went by that there's a picture of them on the Yelp page,
Yeah.
and they're like fucking toddlers.
Toddlers?
They look fucking tiny. Like they look well, maybe not toddlers, but they look very like under 10 years old. You know, like they and now they're like in high school.
Damn. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like
they're
that-
taller than me now.
Yeah.
Like,
And like that's always the marker, man. That's always the marker, like
Yeah.
and it's just like it's not a bad thing. I think it's just,
well, there's a saying that says when you have friends, they don't become customers. Customers end up becoming friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it's true with a lot of these people.
No, it's true,
Even
man.
the ones that we don't even like that much. I'm serious.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You know, they're here. We still talk to them. We still talk,
Yeah.
with them about, because there's that
Yeah.
love of comics.
Oh yeah,
You
dude, we all have that thing in common. I think that's it's like
You wouldn't be coming through that
yeah,
door if you
exactly.
didn't like comics.
Exactly.
You wouldn't be trying to steal comics.
Yeah, there's that too.
You know?
It's funny because a friend of mine, I was telling her about this regular
Yeah.
and just how he gets on my nerves and this and that.
Yeah.
And then one day we went to go eat, and she came down and she met him. Like he was just,
Oh.
and she told me like afterwards, she was like that's your friend.
Yep.
And I'm like, I mean, I guess. She's like,
No, yeah.
no. He checks in on you. He fucking da 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 da. That's your friend. I'm like, I mean, all right, I guess, right?
Yeah. Because we have all types of friends.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
You know? The guys that know you, and you can't stand, but you still put up with.
Yeah, right.
You know, I'm still here.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, it takes all types. You know?
Yeah.
It takes all types.
it works out. It works out.
That's another thing I started this podcast for. It's for those fucking people.
Yeah, man.
You know? Those are the people that fascinate me.
Oh,
know?
yeah.
From the old store, there were so many weird characters that came
It's all
out
these
of...
personalities, man.
Yeah.
It's all these
You
personalities.
swear to God, these guys came out of a fucking comic page or something, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy can't be real.
Yeah.
But he was there in the flesh.
There it was, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
driving his Jeep.
That's true.
That way you know who it is.
I know exactly what it is. But yeah, man, it's just it's comics. I think that was one thing. The first thing you did when you pitched me the idea of this podcast was like, oh, do comics make you weird, or do weird people just read comics? And it's the truth, Like
Yeah.
I think it's just, I don't know. I mean, end of the day, what's weird, what's fucking normal,
At this point, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
There was a point in time where everyone was defined.
Yeah.
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 Growing up, there was a definition for everybody.
Yeah.
Typical X, the nerd, jock, blah, blah, blah. Now it's the jock that reads comics.
Yeah.
You know? the comic nerd that reads, that's a jock.
Yeah.
You know, it's two different things.
Oh yeah,
but
no, it's yeah, it shifts, man.
yeah,
Dude, remember like like I said, we had those guys playing HeroClix with us.
I didn't know.
They were all football players.
I didn't even know that part.
Yeah.
Until after I taught them how to play HeroClix,
Yeah.
and they learned how to play HeroClix. And then after you told me there were jocks, I was like, they don't seem like jocks.
Yeah, they came in with their pads and shit that one time. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's a trip, man.
Yeah.
It's a trip. It's like I said, it's a long trip. 10 years.
10 years, man.
All kinds.
Yeah, all kinds. And one of those dudes is married now.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
I gotta invite him to go play. There's a way to get in contact with him. That's another
Yeah,
thing.
I mean,
People come and go.
yeah, they come and go. It's a thing, you
That's
know.
another
And it's
thing.
like, and I think it's like, yeah, they do.
There'll be times, even though I don't want to say it, that I miss people from Galaxy.
Oh yeah, no,
You know,
yeah,
some
yeah.
of those people used to come in on the weekly or the bi-weekly. And
Yeah.
talk up nonsense with us for
Yeah,
at least
that's all
10,
it is, man.
20 minutes.
Because I think it is. I think it's this whole thing, and I remember telling Marty about this. I have told Joanna about this too. It's like, I think a lot of these people don't have anyone else to talk nerdy shit with.
Oh.
You know, they don't have anyone to talk comics with.
Yeah.
So when they come, it's like, oh, this guy knows what I'm talking about. So you know,
Feels
yeah.
me, yeah.
I mean, I totally get that too. Cause I remember one time.
It's a bit of therapy for them.
Yeah, I remember one time hanging out with Kristen from Hide Your Whole Comics, and we were talking about, you know, running a comic shop and ordering and doing this and that. And I remember at that point, like I had a moment where I was like, oh, she speaks my language.
Yeah.
Like like I could tell you about this, or I could tell Joanna about this, and you wouldn't completely understand it because you don't, you know, but she has to deal with this shit too. So it's like, yeah, you speak my language, you know, like, and I get that. Like it's, you know,
Fucking A.
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, no, she understands the FOC.
Yeah.
I still don't know what it stands for, but I know it's important.
It's important. It's annoying. It's the bane of my existence, right?
Exactly. It's an anagram for something or other, but
it's the final order cutoff.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll forget tomorrow.
Yeah,
but,
that's all it is. That's all it is.
So it's like the last order numbers. You make sure they're
No, yeah, this is the last date that you can order more of these and guarantee you're getting it. You could order after that, but it's not guaranteed. Yeah, so yeah.
Final. I gotta know this thing.
Yeah,
If I'm gonna take over.
You take over when I die.
Jesus Christ.
You can take over when I die or fake my death. You know, either way.
I have to. Yeah, right.
If I win the lottery, like I already said, I'm not gonna tell anybody.
All of a sudden, it's like, what are you doing here? Where is he at? He died.
Died.
Died. And see you driving by your gold car. Oh, that's in Megamind. The main superhero.
Yeah.
Fix his death.
Yeah, just fix his death. He's
Yeah.
like, he's just tired of it.
Tired
He's
of
like, fuck this shit. Like,
Yeah. Let someone else do it.
Yeah. Someone else do it. Why not?
Fucking A. Oh, you gotta win the lottery quick then.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Fuck it. I gotta win the lottery too.
There you go.
Let's all win the lottery.
I'll try.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
First one win the lottery wins.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously.
Or fix their own death.
Oh,
I
fix
should
their own
say.
death.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
I like it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking about faking my
You
death.
figure I mean, it's, you know, it's possible.
With a lot of money, yeah.
A lot of money. You could do it.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Good old store.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we
We
should
call
come
it?
to- I
You
think
call
we
it?
should call it. We've been talking for a while.
Yeah, I could feel it. I'm fucking drenched over here.
Yeah. The fan's been off for
Yeah,
a while,
yeah,
and we had
yeah.
to do it inside.
Yeah.
And I didn't put it in time frame, so I have no idea
How long this
how
is?
long this
Yeah,
has been.
yeah.
So we'll stop it here.
Okay, do your closing. You can do
Oh,
closing.
I got to do my
You can
closing.
do closing.
So I want to thank you
Anytime.
anytime for giving me this chance to
Yeah.
be doing this. Issue number 14 at this point,
Yeah.
ComiCentric. I don't know what the future holds
Yeah.
or who we can get next week.
Who do you want next week?
Let's get the Godzilla guy.
You want Godzilla? Oh, no, probably not.
Well, we
but
can
by
do it.
then, yeah.
Yeah.
We can get, well, maybe.
Yeah, it's doing it on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
I could do what I did with Rafael and
That's true.
and be
That's
like,
true.
hey, give me 10 minutes of your time, and
yeah.
then we'll talk about a little bit about.
Yeah, we could totally do that. You know?
Yeah, that
We
works.
go, so don't tweet at Kevin Smith that we want him for the podcast.
Can I?
Dude loves podcasting, so I mean, it's possible.
likes it.
I think give him a better shot at getting him on the podcast than we have a signing, honestly. Like,
Kevin Smith, if you're listening to this, can you come down?
yeah, right.
We just want to talk about
Yeah,
nothing.
just talk about comics.
Yeah,
You know.
not even about you. We'll just
Yeah,
talk about whatever
we'll
the
talk
hell you
about
want.
comics,
Yeah,
you know.
I know he's a very busy man.
Yeah.
Health issues.
Yeah,
And, he's taking care of himself.
Yeah.
We talk about health issues.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Charles Atlas.
Charles Atlas. Jesus Christ! I can't believe we spent so much time on
Yeah,
that.
that was fun, man.
That was interesting.
That was interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, this has been an interesting ride so far, and we will continue doing this, even if next week it's you and me again.
Yeah, we'll figure
We
something.
always have something to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah, we'll figure
And
it out.
that's one of the best part of our relationship is there's always
Oh,
something
yeah.
to talk about.
Yeah, man.
You know, you're one of the few people I can just be like shooting the shit about the
Yeah.
dumbest shit, and
That's the way to do it, man.
it still comes out
Yeah,
gold.
there you go.
Yeah. So anyway, so anyone still listening, thank you very much for all these listens you guys give me. I haven't looked at the numbers, and I still probably won't.
Yeah,
But
that's probably a good idea.
because
Yeah.
I'm having a good time, just
Yeah,
you know,
just enjoy it.
enjoying it.
Yeah, no need to stress about it.
I'm not even going to.
Yeah, there you
As
go.
long as I can pay for the hosting myself, I
Yeah.
think we'll be fine.
Yeah,
And when I can, I'll start with the
Patreon.
Patreon.
You're gonna
where-
fucking dance on TikTok.
blow me down. Blow me down. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you again. And have a good morning, good night, good afternoon, and bye.
Bye.